What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with Destiny 2 news. We've got a few updates from Bungie directly right here regarding broken armor, which is causing the game to crash, unfortunately for some players. Otherwise, we'll talk about a new cross-promotion event between Destiny and Destiny Rising, which will be launching this week. D2 also has a new community manager. Bungie continue to take feedback regarding various systems in the game, and of course it'll be interesting to see what they say in relation to that this week. Otherwise, we get a look at some new rewards for Desert Perpetual and the epic version of the raid that includes a new weapon. Plus, interestingly, a few previous world first players are actually gonna boycott the epic raid in some capacity. We'll talk about what that means, as well as some extra discussion regarding the implications of Bungie's recent change with regards to executives in the studio. So a few things to discuss. If you guys find the video interesting, do us a massive favor and hit subscribe. But now let's get into it. First up today, Destiny Rising has a Destiny 2 collaboration, which seems really weird. I guess it's not weird because they're part of the same franchise technically, but players who complete the Bear the Light event in Destiny Rising, which I think is an event that will be active at the launch of the game, will be able to earn an exclusive Destiny 2 emblem called the Starboard Forward. It's actually quite a nice looking emblem. And of course, Destiny Rising drops this week on the 28th of August, so let us know in the comment section if you're going to be checking that out. I need to look into running that on PC in particular, as I'm definitely not a mobile gamer, but I'll link the Destiny Rising page down below if you want to look into it, and the additional emblem unlock for the event. On to D2 stuff this week though. Of course, Bungie released the Gladius armor ornaments in the Eververse store, and they're kind of cool looking, but Destiny 2 team do say we're investigating an issue where players who have the Gladius armor ornament set equipped on PS4 or the PS4 version of D2 while playing on PS5 will crash if they enter portal activities. So those affected are recommended to unequip the ornaments until the issue is resolved. So I guess if you pick those up and you've been using them and haven't had any issues, you should be fine, but if you're playing on PlayStation and you did grab them and you've been seeing crashes, then I guess you know why. This seems to have happened fairly often recently with these sort of cosmetic sets and visual components causing crashes. Not sure why it's a persistent issue, but there you go, I guess. Otherwise, this week at Reset, Zavala did have a few pretty nice swords in the form of Aurora Dawn. He's got one that's Cold Steel and Rhyme Stealer, another one with Cold Steel and Flash Counter. So a couple of really good options there, and apparently the roles actually reset over daily resets, so I was totally unaware of that, but if you want to get those specific roles, grab them before the daily reset today, or keep an eye out through the week for the potential of those roles changing. Man, it's crazy that one of the most exciting things at Weekly Reset is going to Zavala to grab the, quote, free loot, or nearly free, I guess. As of course they do provide those big power increases. And otherwise, there is the bonus focus thing this week, allowing players to get an additional drop from the bonus focus activities in the portal. And yes, of course, they are not powerful drops in any capacity, but simply additional bonuses which can drop at power or sometimes ever so slightly below power. Not really sure how all those drops actually work, but I guess it's good if you're farming specific roles. Right now, a lot of players are after higher tier loot or power increases, so not quite as much excitement as there could be for it, but if you're happy to get good roles in general, then this is an opportunity to get a few extras, I guess. Now though, a quick message from our video sponsor for today. I know many of us have spent time trying to ditch bad habits like vaping, and recently I managed to ditch my bad habit, and this is what made the difference. Introducing Fume. Fume is all about creating positive habits and alternatives to habits which have a negative effect on our health. We should say that this is not an electronic device or vape, and that's why it has the support of US doctors, because it's not toxic and there's no nicotine, so it isn't addictive. The Fume pulls air through a core, and that gives us a mild flavor with no combustion. If anything, it's kind of a psychological replacement for the habit. Plus, you can fidget with it, and there are a bunch of flavors, my favorite being orange vanilla. But on top of that, Fume is very discreet, portable, and they're built to last, and that's why more than 500,000 customers have been helped to change their habits and improve their well-being. So for a limited time right now, if you order the Journey Pack using code Houndish, you'll get a free Fume topper, an awesome accessory to level up your experience. So click the link or scan the QR code on screen to get yours today. All of the details are down below, and if you feel like this might just help you kick bad habits, then it's totally worth checking out, and thanks to Fume for sponsoring the video. In other news, Bruno from Bungie is now a senior community manager for Destiny 2. I don't know if the yay was sarcastic because they know the amount of salt in the community at the moment, but obviously congrats. And on the subject of community management, DMG has indicated that they are continuing to push feedback from players to the development team. So it will be interesting to see what updates we get. Hopefully on Thursday, there'll be a bit of recognition for some of the concerns in the community. DMG confirms they did make the change to prime engrams, or they're reverting a change they haven't yet released where we were going to have to take them to Master Raoul to decrypt, but they will continue to auto-decrypt instead, as Bungie changed course on that following feedback about having to go to the tower repeatedly. In case you don't know, you probably already do, but prime engrams, when they drop on the ground, are reasonably easy to identify because they are bigger than most of the other engrams, and they're very pink, as you can see right here. So look out for those. I'm confident that I personally have probably deleted at least a few. On a serious note though, I'm not sure why the sort of prime part of the power grind even really exists, to be honest. It's nice in the sense that you get tier 5 loot whenever you get a prime dropped, but the frequency of those drops at the moment obviously is not that much fun, so we'll see just how effective the changes are that'll give chances for any of the bonus drops to be primes as well. Next up though, let's talk about the epic raid briefly, as folks in the community believe some things may have been leaked in association with this, or shared early, should we say. Bungie actually posted their annual expansion art blast for Edge of Fate, featuring a ton of behind the scenes concepts and things, which are up on ArtStation. One of the things that gets shown off there is a weapon called the Ever Present. We can see it's a heavy grenade launcher, and it has the same aesthetic as all of the Desert Perpetual weapons, so take it with a pinch of salt because it's not confirmed to be coming to the game, but we've seen this quite a few times where unreleased things get shared, and normally when they look as finished as this, they do tend to be something we'll actually earn in game. So the assumption is that this will come from the epic raid, and of course it makes it more likely that we are indeed going to get some extra weapon drops when epic raid rolls around. Otherwise, we know that there'll also be the Sparrow, which is actually visible in the database, and once we can start earning tier 5 rewards from the raid, that will include the Kronicle variants with the kind of holofoil or shiny skins, whatever we call them, so there'll at least be a few rewards associated with that when it rolls around. But in relation to the raid, and with community sentiment the way it is right now, something interesting. But Ham on X shared that 4 out of their 6 team members have decided to boycott the upcoming epic raid in September. And Ham has actually been on a couple of world first teams, so that included for Salvation's Edge, as well as Desert Perpetual. And they basically said, for me personally, I'm tired of the community not being heard, and clear positive feedback is clearly not working, so we're trying something new. They also give feedback about the epic raid concept in general. Here you go, I'll join the boycott. I'm gonna boycott the epic raid because, well, I'm actually away on vacation or holiday that weekend. So when everyone's sweating it out in the epic raid, I'll be sitting in a hot tub thinking, man, I enjoy this more. So not technically a boycott from me, but I guess I can pretend it is. Otherwise though, I'm curious to see how Ash and Iron is actually going to launch, as Bungie teased an event called New Territory, and it looks like this probably has something to do with Devrim K, who has some rally rewards, which consist of a bunch of older cosmetics in his inventory right now, and that's why Devrim K has been referencing Forces of the City so often in the content we've had in Edge of Fate, especially the solo ops, or portal stuff should I say, as it seems to be a bit of a sort of narrative backdrop for whatever the event will actually be that leads us back to the Plaguelands. So we've done the part that's far away from home on Kepler, but the New Territory event and the return of the Plaguelands will basically be the part that's closer to home and is the actual reclamation part of the equation, I guess. So I'm looking forward to seeing that part in particular and getting a new portal activity with a return to the Plaguelands. There's certainly a hunger for new content, but there is more of a hunger for changes to the portal and the progression systems right now. So as I've said before, fingers crossed for Thursday, as it's certainly not going to get better if Bungie just stay very quiet with regards to community feedback. Otherwise, they may as well post a twit that says, "We're not listening." Who knows, maybe they will. Last week though, when Pete Parsons resigned or announced his retirement, we discussed the fact that Justin Truman is taking over. I actually referenced Bungie having a new CEO, but of course that's not true. Bungie have lost their CEO and Justin Truman will become studio manager. So Pete Parsons leaving the company, of course, marks Sony actually taking even more control over the studio. And I've no doubt we're going to hear even more about this in the coming weeks. So keep it locked and loaded if you do want further updates. But for today, guys, that is what we have to speak about. So as always, I hope you found the video interesting at the very least. If you have, a rating really helps me out on the channel. Once again, big shout out to my sponsor for today, Fume. If you're looking to improve your bad habits and replace them with something less toxic and generally more positive in terms of your health, then be sure to follow the links below and take advantage of our exclusive deal. All of that is in the description box. Also be sure to get subscribed and I can keep you posted with more Destiny content. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in, and whatever you get up to, I hope you have an awesome day.